Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank. Busey, your dream, our promise. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Winnett, and joining me now are Tim Ells and Bev Bischoff, representing Ride Assist Naperville, or RAN for short. So welcome.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome, Tim. It's good to have you back. And so we're looking forward to getting a little update. So tell us what's been going on since we last chatted.
Well, we're growing.
Awesome.
We have 196 riders that have registered for our service. We get more applications in the mail every day. We are up to 35 vetted volunteer drivers who drive Naperville seniors to and from medical appointments. By the end of this month, we will have completed over 500 round-trip rides, which is fantastic for less than our first year in operation in terms of giving rides. And we have added a part-time coordinator that has been really helpful in helping us move the program forward and getting people where they need to go. So it's really, we've really done a lot in a short period of time.
You have, and I know that's such an important part, right? Being able to coordinate, because you've got to match drivers with where they're going, with riders. So I'm going to ask you, Bev, to tell us a little bit about how you found out about RAN, and how did you get signed up? When did you sign up?
Well, I found out about it last year, but I have to say that I don't have a car. I haven't had a car since the 70s.
Okay.
I lived in Chicago, and I didn't need a car, and then I moved to Wheaton, and I lived there for 27 years without a car because I had a Jewel next door, and I had the eye clinic next door, and all my doctors were close, and plus I walk, I'm a big walker. And so then the apartment complex that I was living in had been brand new when I moved in. And they were very fair about rents, and everything was good that way. And then until they weren't, about the last 2 or 3 years, when rents were, getting, the competitiveness was just so huge. So that was the time last year when my son said, Mom, it's time for you to move to Naperville. And I really, I didn't want to move, and he had been talking about it for about 3 years. So I said, well,
kind of easing you into it.
Easing into it. So I finally did agree with him. It really was time for me to move. So I want to say, I don't know whether it was January or February, and I from then on, from December when we found the place, from then on I started thinking Naperville everything. And I was Googling this and Googling that, and then what could I walk to, and where's church, and all those things. And then I saw this article in the Daily Herald that said that this company was going to be starting this senior ride program. And I read it, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is just meant for me.
Right.
And I literally went to the phone that day and called them and talked to Karen, and she sent me the paperwork, and I signed up. And I thought, oh, this is like some kind of a genius thing that someone has come up with. I thought, why hasn't someone thought of this before? There must be such a huge need, So my first time that I had to use them then was in August. And since then, I have just... one day I said to Ashley that I think I'm taken over monopolizing or something the drivers, but it's been wonderful. It's been just a wonderful.
Well, and
experience.
I think you really sort of speak right to. I know, Tim's talked before about the importance of transportation, and transportation obviously is an issue across the country, but certainly here in Naperville, and to help out so that your son, who probably would like to take you to every appointment but can't, people have got to work. So the fact that there's that service is obviously so important.
It absolutely is, and I think how many people must be benefiting from this. I'm just so excited for them and for us.
Oh, it's great, and it's something we hear all the time from our riders. They're just so grateful and so thankful, and really love the program. They just do.
And what's your most, if I would imagine, obviously there's a need. I think Bev might be able to fill the whole need, but what's your biggest need as far as, is it drivers?
Well, I think for all nonprofits, their biggest need is funding. As we get more and more drivers, obviously our insurance costs go up. It's not inexpensive to vet and background check drivers. As I mentioned before, we've brought on a program coordinator that's part-time, but it's a paid position. We're grateful to the organizations, the service organizations in the city, certainly the city and the township, and philanthropic organizations that have given us money. But our biggest need would be really for a major sponsor, a corporation, or maybe an individual who thinks this is a really neat program. But of course, you hit it right on the head. We need drivers. So if you think it would be something really great to do, and it is, it's fun and it's rewarding, just go to our website and you can fill out an application to be a driver online.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Bev, what's been your experience with the drivers? How has that impacted you?
You know, from the day the first gal picked me up, and she and I mean, I think of her as a friend, because I think she's driven me about 4 times now. You know, they're just so respectful and so aware of, you know, any needs that you might have. I've been lucky that I don't have, you know, to use anything to help me get around at this point, but someday I'm sure I will. And I think that people who volunteer like that are special people, to give up their time and, you know, their own cars and go and sit in some medical facility waiting for somebody to, you know. But I call at least 2 of them my friends, and I've probably had about maybe 10 different drivers so far, and I think they're great.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's so nice to hear, right? And I bet it's a huge peace of mind for your son, knowing that you're in safe hands.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah. This helps him a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he lives in Naperville, but he's you know, he's got a lot of other things going on too.
Absolutely.
I mean, we live closer, but I don't know that I necessarily see him anymore, but I know he's there. So
right,
yeah.
Right. Tim, as we wrap up and you think about the future, where are you hoping to be?
In 2 or 3 years, we will be the largest organization doing this in the Chicago suburbs. And part of that is statistically, a higher and higher percentage of Naperville residents are going to get into that senior category. It's just happening. So I think that's exciting. I would like to expand the program at some point to do more than just to and from medical appointments. A great example would be to go food shopping. A lot of our riders have a hard time getting to the food store. And finally, I think we could become a voice for our senior community in Naperville. Our drivers are in the cars every day. They hear senior issues, they hear senior concerns, and I really think we could be an organization at the forefront of speaking for them, if you will.
Okay. You've got some great goals. You've got some great goals.
Oh, we're trying. We're trying.
That's wonderful, and you've made great progress so far for people like Bev and many others in Naperville. So we thank you for the good work that you're doing. We wish you all the best for next year. Keep up the good work there, Bev, and be good to those drivers. I know you will be.
It's easy.
If you would like to learn more about becoming a driver for RAN or for utilizing their services, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.